Imagine waking up every morning not knowing whether your stomach will cooperate. Will today be the day you can leave the house without counting the bathrooms along the route? Will you finally enjoy a meal without dreading what comes after? For millions, this isn't a rare discomfort, it's a daily reality. Digestive distress, bloating, cramping, unpredictable bowel movements. These are the hallmarks of a condition that affects a surprisingly large portion of the population, yet remains poorly understood by many. Irritable bowel syndrome, or IBS. It's not life-threatening in the traditional sense, but it can steal the joy from everyday life. And while the causes have long been a puzzle, science is now pointing to a surprising suspect hiding in plain sight, something most people associate with strong bones and sunshine, not gut health: vitamin D. For years, vitamin D has been celebrated for its role in building and maintaining strong bones. It helps the body absorb calcium, preventing conditions like rickets in children and osteoporosis in adults. But that's only the beginning of its story. Researchers are uncovering that this so-called sunshine vitamin does far more than keep skeletons sturdy. It acts like a master regulator in the body, influencing everything from the immune system to mood, inflammation, and now, perhaps most surprisingly, the delicate ecosystem of the digestive tract. The deeper science goes, the clearer it becomes. Vitamin D may be a silent player in one of the most common yet misunderstood health issues of modern times. IBS affects up to 15% of people in Western countries. That's 1 in every 7 individuals dealing with a condition that can range from mildly inconvenient to completely debilitating. Unlike diseases with visible damage like ulcers or tumors, IBS doesn't show up on scans or blood tests in a straightforward way. There's no definitive marker, no single cause. Instead, it's diagnosed by symptoms: chronic abdominal pain, changes in bowel habits, bloating, gas, and the absence of other diseases. Because of this, it's often dismissed as just stress or in the head, even though the suffering is very real. But what if the root of the problem isn't psychological, but biochemical? What if a simple nutrient deficiency could be fueling this widespread digestive chaos? Evidence is mounting that vitamin D deficiency is not just common among people with IBS, it may be actively contributing to their symptoms. Studies have shown that a significant number of IBS patients have low levels of vitamin D, often below what is considered sufficient for general health. More intriguingly, when these individuals take vitamin D supplements, many report noticeable improvements. Not a miracle cure, but a real, measurable reduction in pain, bloating, and irregularity. Some even find they can finally eat foods they've avoided for years. This isn't just anecdotal. Clinical trials have documented these changes, suggesting that correcting a vitamin D shortfall might help reset the gut's balance. But how does a vitamin best known for bones affect the gut? The answer lies in the complexity of the human body. Vitamin D isn't just a nutrient, it's a hormone precursor. Once absorbed from sunlight or food, it's converted into an active form that binds to receptors found in nearly every organ and tissue, including the cells lining the intestines. These receptors act like switches, turning genes on and off, regulating how the gut functions. One of vitamin D's key roles is in managing inflammation. In the digestive system, chronic low-grade inflammation can disrupt normal motility, increase sensitivity to pain, and alter the balance of gut bacteria. When vitamin D levels are low, this inflammation may go unchecked, creating a perfect storm for IBS symptoms. Then there's the immune system. The gut is home to a massive portion of the body's immune cells, more than anywhere else. These cells are constantly on patrol, distinguishing between harmless food particles, beneficial bacteria, and dangerous invaders. Vitamin D helps keep this system in balance. Without enough of it, the immune response can become erratic, overreacting to normal stimuli and triggering symptoms like cramping and diarrhea. This may explain why some people with IBS feel like their gut is always on high alert, reacting strongly to stress, certain foods, or even changes in routine. Another fascinating piece of the puzzle is the gut microbiome, the trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungi that live in the digestive tract. These microbes aren't just passive residents, they're active participants in digestion, immunity, and even mood regulation. A healthy microbiome is diverse and balanced, but in people with IBS, this balance is often disrupted. Certain harmful bacteria may dominate, while beneficial ones are reduced. What's remarkable is that vitamin D appears to influence this microbial community. Animal studies and emerging human research suggest that adequate vitamin D levels promote the growth of good bacteria and suppress the overgrowth of problematic ones. It's as if vitamin D helps maintain peace in the gut's internal ecosystem, preventing the kind of civil unrest that leads to bloating, gas, and discomfort. Even the gut's physical barrier, the lining that keeps food and bacteria where they belong, relies on vitamin D. Think of this lining as a tightly woven net. When it's strong, it allows nutrients to pass through while blocking harmful substances. But when it's weakened, particles can leak into the bloodstream, triggering immune reactions and inflammation. This concept, sometimes called leaky gut, is controversial but increasingly recognized as a factor in chronic digestive disorders. Vitamin D helps strengthen the junctions between intestinal cells, reinforcing this barrier and reducing the risk of unwanted leakage. Without enough vitamin D, the gut's defenses may falter, making it more vulnerable to irritation and damage. So why are so many people deficient in the first place? The answer is both simple and complex. Modern life has moved indoors. People spend hours under artificial light, commuting, working at desks, scrolling on screens. Sunlight, the most natural and efficient source of vitamin D, is often avoided due to concerns about skin cancer, aging, or simply lack of access. Even in sunny regions, people may not get enough exposure because they work night shifts, cover up for cultural or religious reasons, or live in cities with tall buildings that block the sun. Then there's skin tone. Melanin, the pigment that gives skin its color, also reduces the skin's ability to produce vitamin D from sunlight. This means people with darker skin need significantly more sun exposure to make the same amount as someone with lighter skin, something that's not always possible in higher latitudes or during winter months. Diet doesn't always fill the gap. Very few foods naturally contain high levels of vitamin D. Fatty fish like salmon and mackerel are good sources, as are egg yolks and liver, but most people don't eat these regularly. Some foods are fortified, milk, orange juice, cereals, but the amounts are often modest and inconsistent. Supplements can help, but many people don't take them, either because they don't know they need them or because they assume they're getting enough from their diet or lifestyle. The result? A widespread, silent deficiency that may be contributing to a range of health problems far beyond weak bones. The connection between vitamin D and IBS is part of a larger shift in how we understand health. For decades, medicine has treated the body as a collection of separate systems: digestive, immune, nervous, skeletal, each with its own specialists and solutions. But the reality is far more interconnected. What happens in the gut affects the brain. What happens in the skin affects the bones. And what happens with a single vitamin can ripple through multiple systems at once. This holistic view is changing the way doctors and researchers approach chronic conditions. Instead of just suppressing symptoms with medication, they're looking for underlying imbalances that might be corrected with lifestyle changes, nutrition, and targeted supplementation. For people with IBS, this could be transformative. Many spend years visiting doctors, trying elimination diets, taking medications, and searching for answers. Some find relief, but others feel stuck in a cycle of trial and error. The idea that a simple blood test and a daily supplement could make a meaningful difference is both hopeful and empowering. It doesn't mean vitamin D is the only factor. IBS is complex, and triggers vary from person to person. Stress, food sensitivities, hormonal changes, and past infections all play roles. But if vitamin D deficiency is a common thread, addressing it could be a crucial first step toward healing. And the benefits might extend beyond the gut. Vitamin D receptors are found in the brain, and research links low levels to depression, anxiety, and brain fog, symptoms that often overlap with IBS. This could explain why so many people with digestive issues also struggle with mood disorders. It's not just that chronic pain leads to sadness. There may be a shared biological pathway. Correcting a deficiency might not only ease stomach pain but also lift mental fog and improve emotional resilience. The body, after all, doesn't separate physical and mental health the way humans do. Public health experts are beginning to take notice. In some countries, guidelines now recommend screening for vitamin D deficiency in people with chronic digestive conditions. Doctors are being encouraged to think beyond the gut and consider the whole person, their environment, lifestyle, and nutritional status. This doesn't mean everyone with stomach troubles should rush to buy supplements. Too much vitamin D can be harmful, leading to high calcium levels, kidney stones, or other complications. The key is balance, and the only way to know if someone is deficient is through a blood test. Self-diagnosing and self-treating can be risky, which is why professional guidance is essential. Still, the message is clear. Something as simple as sunlight might hold the key to better digestive health. It's a reminder that modern medicine, for all its advances, sometimes overlooks the basics. We've become so focused on high-tech solutions, genetic testing, biologic drugs, robotic surgery, that we forget the power of fundamental nutrients and natural rhythms. The human body evolved under the sun, moving with the seasons, eating whole foods, and living in tune with nature. Today, many of us live in artificial environments, disconnected from those rhythms. Our bodies, however, haven't changed. They still need sunlight, still crave balance, still depend on nutrients that can't be synthesized in a lab but must be gathered from the world around us. For those struggling with IBS, this new understanding offers more than just a potential treatment, it offers hope. Hope that their suffering isn't imaginary, that it has a biological basis, and that solutions may be simpler than they thought. It also calls for a broader conversation about how we live. Should workplaces allow for midday walks in the sun? Should schools teach children about the importance of vitamin D? Should fortified foods be more widely available? These aren't just medical questions, they're social and cultural ones. The story of vitamin D and IBS is still unfolding. More research is needed to fully understand the relationship, to determine the right doses, and to identify who benefits most. But the early signs are promising. In a world where chronic illness is on the rise and healthcare costs are soaring, a low-cost, low-risk intervention like vitamin D supplementation could make a significant difference. It won't solve everything, but it might help untangle a knot that has frustrated patients and doctors for decades. Next time you feel the sun on your skin, pause for a moment. That warmth isn't just pleasant, it's potentially healing. It's fueling a biochemical process that reaches deep into your cells, influencing how you feel from the inside out. And for someone struggling with a troubled gut, that same sunlight might be the quiet, invisible force that finally brings relief. The body is smarter than we often give it credit for. Sometimes, the answers aren't in a pill bottle or a lab report, but in the simple, ancient rhythm of light and life. If you found this eye-opening journey into the hidden connection between vitamin D and gut health fascinating, don't keep it to yourself. Hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a deep dive into the surprising science behind everyday health issues. Your gut might just thank you later. See you in the next video.